Hello, my educator family, and let me welcome you to Adaptable August. Adaptable indeed, because this month we are focused on how is it that school leaders adjust and adapt what they're doing in leadership with COVID around, and what is it that they will be offering, the tips that they will give to us as they progress beyond COVID. But let us not forget that we had a very jubilant July where we focused on the celery. And I just want to say publicly thanks to Mrs. Tamari Johnson Williams, who did an excellent job, and also our analyzer, Mr. Royston Tibby. So, yes, we're in Adaptable August. And we have with us on our platform this time for Analysis Thursday, Mrs. Tori Carty, who is the acting vice principal at the Frankfield Primary and Infant School in Manchester. She is also a trained guidance counselor and she has professional qualification for principalship. Welcome, Mrs. Carty, and thank you so much for being on with us and to share with us your tips for Strategy Sunday in this or Analysis Thursday. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Madam Boswell-Lewis. It is indeed an honor.
Okay, great. So on Sunday, we were privileged to hear from Vice Principal Omar Largie of the Penwood High School as to some tips that he employed as it relates to COVID-19 and the daily operation of school. And also he shared with us some tips that as administrators and leaders within our own right in the school setting that we can adopt for September and beyond post-COVID. How was it for you? What were your takeaway points? What was it like listening in as a vice principal acting yourself? How was it for you?
I found it was good. It was good. Mr. Largie brought home points and he reinforced some things, and I can see the practicality of what he had to share. And it was good coming from someone who would have gone through the whole COVID process, having school online. And it was really great hearing from someone who would have experienced it and not someone who was just sharing in theory. And I love the points he made. And I must admit to you, there are so many points that he shared that I would have taken for myself. Unfortunately, Madam Boswell-Lewis, you said I can't share everything, but I'll share with you my takeaway points soon.
Okay, great. So go ahead and give us your first takeaway point.
All right. You know, when I sat and I listened to VP Largie, I was blown away, or should I say, because he reminded us that even though schooling was not taking place with a face-to-face setting, then schooling was moving to online platform and education must continue. And so the teachers needs adjusted to meet the online needs, and so too were the administrators' techniques in ensuring that school happened online and it was of quality. So then I noted my first takeaway point is that as a school leader, as an administrator, you must know about the platforms. You must know about the technological needs and what platforms the parents, the children, your teachers are going to be using. And so I believe then that you have to lead by example. And so Mr. Largie reminded us that we needed to get training, or not that you have to know everything about the various learning platforms, but you must have an idea of what is going to be used, because after all, you have to understand that how can you go to your staff and say you need to try something new when you yourself, you are unwilling? So that was my first takeaway point.
Awesome. And I really love that takeaway point, because it is such a timely reminder that it is no longer a dictatorship approach that we utilize in education. That is out of the door for many years ago. And so as school leaders, when we say we know, we must demonstrate that we know, and we must have that winsomeness over our staff members, because we cannot be guiding them to be doing something and then at the same time we ourselves are not knowledgeable. So yes, it is not a know-it-all situation, but it is about experience. That is it, that would be needed in the system to ensure that, okay, I'm saying to my staff members, go ahead, utilize Google Classroom, it has this feature, but have I ever stopped to look at the feature? Have I ever noticed whether or not this feature actually works? And so context is very important, and I noted that you liked that as well. So that was an excellent point too for me, and I'm so happy that he mentioned it, and also you have elaborated on it. What's your next point, Madam Carty?
Tied to that first one, it was the importance of having a policy that did your technology arm of the school. So I noted that he made sure in going in that there were some guidelines set. So the parents knew what was happening, the teachers knew what was happening, the students knew what was happening. And remember that we have to embrace technology because it's not going anywhere. It's here to stay. So instead of us fighting technology, it's about using technology and ensuring that the children get educated and the children are able to know how to use it, so they use it then to make themselves smarter, and they embrace the whole technology as a tool. And I really loved that as well. And also the fact that there was a need, he saw a need in encouraging that they invest in technology, invest in it, in the sense that, at first, I know sometimes the bill might be upfront and you might say, okay, it might be expensive to put this in place, but then it lessens other bills as you go on, right? And then when you involve all the stakeholders in the use of technology, so everybody will log on to the program, and then the technology will just go forth with students, parents, teachers, everybody on board when you have some guidelines and it is shared with everyone in all the stakeholder groups.
Awesome. That is so important, Mrs. Carty, because COVID has made things lighten up for school administrators. It has opened eyes to realize that some of the things that we have held on to dearly. What I love that he mentioned that as early as 2016, he had developed a technology policy where he's saying to teachers, hey, the students use a cell phone. Why not teach them to be responsible and to become socially aware and have them taking it to school? So this would have made it easier for them in light of COVID, that they already knew what the regulations were. And it is a time for administrators to look at how can you develop policies that will guide the institution. What are the policies that exist for COVID, post-COVID? What is it that everyone needs to know? Because when it is opened and as you said, all stakeholders become aware of and are knowledgeable of, it will be easier to partake in, and the teaching learning environment will be much better. So excellent point again, Madam Carty. I enjoy that one as well. And so you're going to take us to your final takeaway point at this time. Let's hear it.
Well, I know you're limiting me now, Madam Boswell-Lewis. One other thing.
I can give it two more.
Okay. All right. So then I love the fact that they embrace new methods of doing daily tasks. Something as simple as marking of the register or your punctuality. You utilize what is there. You understand? So you'd have created a Google Sheets maybe also to mark the attendance for the staff or for your students as well. And then and I love the fact that they embrace technology in doing the lesson plan. We all know lesson planning is going nowhere. We have to plan to ensure our children get what is needed. And so instead of having to utilize the books as we're used to, they embrace the email system. They embrace the Google Docs system. And so I believe that quicker feedback is given to the teacher when you even use the Google Docs. And so instead of fighting something and becoming archaic. You are actually utilizing what is at hand and making it work. You're working smarter and not harder then.
Awesome. That is so true. And, you know, as you rightly put it, we can't fight with technology. It is here. It is just for us to utilize it to the best of our ability and to get the business of school going. We have to, if we are teaching students to go out in the 21st century, and these are the millennials, the Gen Zs, these are the fourth revolution learners. If we are teaching them to go out and to dominate, then at school we must expose ourselves to that level of dominance, so that when we exert with the students, it becomes easier for them and also for us. Is there anything else? He gave some tips post-COVID, what needs to be done. You can go ahead and elaborate on that.
Right. I before the post-COVID, Madam Boswell-Lewis, I must point out the need for supervision, right? Even in the on the online platform, because I believe educating our students, it's a business, right? It's a business, and we have to ensure quality. And so we must supervise, even though we are in the online space. And to me, it is even easier because you can visit so many more schools, so many more classrooms, pardon. You understand?
Yes.
On the online platform. So we must remember that supervision must take place to ensure we have quality, right?
Yes, I agree.
Right.
I do agree with that. Yes. The
Yes.
post-COVID, you know.
Right. He did remind us that we must ensure we collaborate. We must learn from those who would have gone through and would have tried some things, because it's a learning process.
Yeah.
There's no institution that would have gone through COVID before. So everybody is learning. And so we must talk with each other, share ideas. And when we have more minds coming together, then I know that the quality that we want will be given. And we have to ensure, he said, that we communicate. I honestly believe, as Mr. Largie said in his presentation, that when you have your stakeholders understanding where you want to go, the vision, and everybody is logged on because you're communicating and pulling ideas, then you are going to find that you will achieve that vision even quicker than you understand too, that with communication, we have to keep the lines open, yes, because of the fluidity of the entire situation. COVID is here, yes, but this week you can say, oh, it's face-to-face, tomorrow it's online. Things are always changing. So we have to keep the lines of communication open with all our stakeholders.
Awesome. Awesome. I really, truly enjoyed his presentation. Yes. I know Mr. Largie, we know Mr. Largie to be someone who is very futuristic in his approach, and he takes on his task with such great pride. And, you know, having listening to him and now listening to you, giving an extension of how will this work, we know that this is something, it's practical, it is also achievable. Nothing, as you said, beats collaboration and communication. Most schools will do well. All schools will do well when, as you rightly mentioned, the stakeholders are on board and there is consistent communication and collaboration. It's okay. We operate in a world where today this rule exists for using the telephone. Tomorrow it's a whole different ballgame. It's a different app that is being available. So when we operate within that context of the changing environment, and as educators, as leaders, we take that on and we don't shut up ourselves in a box, but we think outside and we think of novel ways to make the teaching learning environment a success, then truly, even though we have COVID and we're thinking about post-COVID, schools should look and resemble that of the fourth revolution, where we are not stuck up in our ideas, but we are open, as you say. You know, the light bulb effect is important. You're locked in the box, you open, there's light, you want to see more, you get out of the box and you start thinking. Madam Carty, I want to thank you so very much for coming onto our platform and for sharing with us. You are now our new analyzer for the month of Adaptable August. We look forward to being here with you in this space again next week and the week after, the week after, the week after, because we are just going to be here to help educators and administrators to adapt as they prepare for post-COVID, as they prepare for September. Thank you once more. This was Carla Boswell-Lewis, Director for Strategic Educational Consultancy Services. As I've always said, my only mission is to empower you educators, and by empowering you, you go likewise and empower your students. God bless you all. Have a great week ahead.